So that was the preparation. So I'm moving out of corporate, relocating to Toronto, to Canada. Two big changes, both happening at the same time. And relocating to Toronto. And like, that is not cheap, right? But it happened. And it's been an easy transition ever since. Everything was on point. Sophia, our consultant, she just set us up, and the good thing about it is that she's also a godly woman. Like, she helped us to settle so quickly. For Christmas, she even cooked for us. It was such an amazing transition. And when I think about the persons that God placed in your life as destiny helpers, she's someone that comes to mind. So which is my other point. As you're transitioning, you have to look at who you're surrounded by. Who are the destiny helpers that God has placed in your life that can support you? They don't always have to be your close friends. I have a couple acquaintances that when they call, I answer because I recognize that this is a destiny helper. So it was a great transition for us. Things that would ordinarily take a while, we got it done in a week. I remember hearing persons say it takes a long time to get a family doctor. They were there for years, don't have a family doctor because of how the medical industry is set up in Canada. Got our family doctor within the first 6 months. Got my specialist a month later. I've been doing my appointments because that is another thing. I wanted to have access to the medical care that is necessary for the condition. So all of these things just fell into place. Now, whilst focusing on, the transition, the relocation, I also still needed to really execute properly in business. So I was attending a lot of conferences, just attending events, traveling, going to investment forums, you name it. Like, if you're going to do something, you do something. You do it, and you do it well. So I refuse to just ease in. This is what I've been praying for. Why, when you get what you're praying for, you're going to delay your execution? That doesn't make any sense. So I did not delay. Yeah. Now, along this journey throughout this year, a lot of things happened. I'll tell you a couple wins first. I held my first change management workshop in Barbados in January. It was sold out. I launched my first book, Say Yes to God. Sold over 100 copies. And I mean, that may not be a lot for many people, but for me, one person buying my book is humbling. Getting the stories and the feedback about how my book, Say Yes to God, is impacting lives. Humbling. I then held my first summit, Change Management Summit, under my IGC brand in Barbados in May, and it was a virtual summit as well. It was hybrid. And had great companies attending. We had about 19 speakers. At that summit, I had 2 international guest speakers. Tom from our Kudos partners, and I'll tell you a bit about that, as well as Belle, who at the time was the global director for TikTok. Those type of wins are things that I started to see. I was able to onboard a couple clients that I had before that continued with us, going into their 3rd year of engagement now. I was able to expand into another market. A lot of great things are happening. Had a lot of persons that reached out on the impact quotient end as well. Ran my first momentum boot camp recently. Great things are happening. Am I where I want to be as yet? No. But I'm laying the foundation and I'm trusting God. I was able to sign off a partnership with our Kudos partners, a company based in Calgary Huge deal, big company with a platform that is focused on employee recognition. And we are the exclusive Caribbean partners with this company. These are the type of things that I was able to achieve so far in the first year. Did I hit my revenue goals? No. Was I able to survive? Yes. And do a lot of things. Did my account hit zero? Most definitely. And I'll tell you why. That change summit that I told you about, moving beyond, I am totally grateful for the sponsors that came on board and provided the support that they did in kind. There wasn't a lot of cash sponsorship, but I had prayed about it and I covered the cost out of pocket. So then that placed us in some financial pressure. And with that came guilt and shame. Again, going back to what I said in one of the earlier episodes, don't just watch a person's highlights of their life and try to replicate it in your own. What looks like a success, and it was, depending on the metrics that you're looking at, of course, the feedback was excellent. The speakers, everyone was engaged. We had a great number of attendees, etc. But that's if you're measuring success in that way. I'm a little harder on myself. And I understood that whilst I'm there and I'm putting on this event, I'm also thinking about how am I going to provide for my family over the next couple of months as things progress. So it was a difficult decision. And I was carrying the guilt and the shame of that until God met me. And I also spoke to my mentor. And I realized I didn't know what I didn't know. I made a decision that I made with the information I had at the time. And I was not about to let that past decision keep me stuck and derail the rest of my year. So I started to build again. That's something that I want you to remember. You're going to make decisions in business that might not always pan out. It might not always materialize how you want it to, but you have to get to a place where you can rebound very quickly, where you can pivot. You learn from it and you move on. I don't believe in failure. What I learned in that season is the importance of cash flow management, the importance of aligning the dates of your invoices and the expected payout periods across that 12-month trajectory. This is what is coming in, and even though it's on the account, this is what it needs to cover. However, this is coming next month, and perhaps we can delay. You got to get good at delaying gratification. So all these things I had to navigate in business. Don't just watch the highlights. Sometimes you're out here swimming and just trusting God and faith in it. Other things that I had to experience or navigate was persons not paying their bills. Persons that you would expect that would pay you or pay you on time. These things can happen. I mean, it wasn't a lot of them. And there were some situations where, you know, persons were navigating a difficult something was happening, and so it wouldn't be their norms. I'm not speaking about those, right? But there are persons who have blatantly not paid me, and in that moment I have to extend grace. In that moment I have to say to God, what do I do here? And I check the word and see what the word says on those who are indebted to you and that type of thing. All right, many things that I just had to let go and love people anyway. There were persons who would not want to pay my price. There are things that you navigate in business. And I say all the time, if you cannot navigate pressure in corporate, do not be prepared to navigate pressure in business. The pressures are the same, which means that you still have to grow regardless. So it's been a year. And in all those changes, hubby also had changes on his end. His contract ended. So here we are moved to a new country where it's more expensive. I am no longer carrying that salary and that comfort that we had in previous years. There's no real surety other than God, and that's all we really need. So in all those changes, then he had changes as well. But God provided. He provided. We remained calm. We trusted him. Never once in that season did we doubt him. And within a month, he landed his new job. God will always show up for you. You only need to be still. So when I think about business and I reflect, this has been one of the best years of my life. And yet still one of the toughest years of my life. Having lost my father, and I'm going to tell you about that in another episode. But whatever it is that you have your mind set to, if you're called to business, start to put a plan in place. Start to validate your idea. Ideas don't make you money. It is ideas that can scale that makes you money. Ideas that are sustainable that makes you money. And that's what I'm working on right now with a group of women, exclusively over the next couple of months, to help them scale their business to a particular revenue threshold. You can do it too. And I hope at some point we get to work together. But until then, be encouraged. And know that when you see persons making bold moves and you see persons charging their price, please pay. You're paying for a lot more than what you see on a highlight. We are out here making sacrifices and we're trusting God in the process. I've been trusting God in the process. And I'm only just getting started. So be encouraged and build your kingdom business. You deserve it and much more.